Hey guys, Chris here. Right behind me we have a 2019 Land Rover Range Rover Sport Autobiography P400e, the new plug-in hybrid, the 2019 facelifted model, and in today's video I'm going to give you guys a test drive of this car. Just quickly guys, before we start the test drive, the exterior styling of this car is very nice. I really do like how the Range Rover Sport looks like, though I think the big Range Rover has aged a bit better. I think this facelift really helps it out, especially the front end with the new LED light design is very cool. But where this car really excels is this interior. So this is the facelifted interior, so you still have the digital gauge cluster up there, but you have this dual screen setup like you do have in Audi. I don't think it is as good as Audi, the top media screen, but I think this screen down here is just amazing. And then you have also a physical knob for the temperature and also for the fan over here, but you can press auto there, though it doesn't look like to be dual zone, which is a bit strange, but I just love this setup. And then everything is just soft touch Nappa leather on top of the dashboard, here on the dashboard, on the doors, on the steering wheel. This is a proper luxury vehicle. I think this competes very nicely with Bentley and Rolls-Royce in interior materials. All the switchgear is just so beautiful. I think this sits a class above everything else in the premium segment, BMW, Audi, Mercedes, and Volvo. This is just amazing, this interior. The engine is now fired up. So this is the P400e plug-in hybrid. So it has a 13.9 kilowatt-hour battery, giving it around 50 kilometer range on pure electricity. And then it has a 2-liter petrol engine with 296 horsepower, and then 4-cylinder, and then it has an electric motor giving it 103 horsepower, I think. Combined system output is 400 horsepower. So this should be very similar to my XC90 T8 plug-in hybrid. Very similar drivetrains, though this gas engine is a bit less powerful than the gas engine in my T8, but the electric motor is more powerful than the gas engine in my electric engine in my T8. But this has a very different setup. So you have proper 4-wheel drive here. You have the electric motor assisting the drivetrain instead of running one axle on pure combustion and pure electricity like you have in the XC90. Gives it a different type of driving experience, but just right here where it's dry, I can't really notice any much difference. The fan is quite loud on this car, so let's see if we can just turn that down a bit. And yeah, pure electricity. So like anything else electric, it is very refined. And there you have the gas engine kicking in. I think the sound insulation is a bit better than in my XC90, but I don't think the actual engine is more refined, so a bit give and take there. But the rest of the cabin, is very quiet, very nicely sound insulated. You have a sense of isolation here, which I don't think you get in the other premium products, like as I mentioned, Audi, BMW, and Mercedes and Volvo. I think this just sits a bit higher, though the price is also reflecting that, because this sits, well, depending on your market, is a car that is actually on the inside smaller than an XC90, a GLE, or an X5, but cost considerably more. So ride comfort in this car is a bit stiffer than what I'm used to in something like my XC90, though dampening is very good. The suspension setup is just a bit stiffer, meaning there's less roll, there's less body motion, so I actually like it a lot. Though some impacts you can feel in your back, actually, moving through this suspension and through this chassis. I think overall it is very solid feeling, the whole ride here. And this of course is on air suspension, and this being, you know, a bit of an older platform now. This came out in 2013 or 2012, if I'm not mistaken. So this is getting a bit old, though this refresh has really brought it up to date to 2019. There is a lot of body motion up and down instead of sideways that I'm not used to. But that might be because, you know, this car is very heavy. It's even more heavy than my XC90. So it might be, you know, that the suspension just trying to mask all the weight. But I think it also gives this, yeah, a real sense of solidity where it, you know, almost beats the road down, beats the bumps down while riding over them. Now we're merging onto the highway here, and let's see what this drivetrain feels like. Let's just build a small gap to this Subaru in front of us and mash the throttle and see what's what. So yeah, so it doesn't feel particularly fast. I know the numbers suggest differently. I think 0 to 60 is around 6 seconds, a little less than 6 seconds, but it doesn't feel very immediate. Well, the speedometer is at least, you know, climbing quite quickly, but it doesn't feel very quick. It doesn't feel as immediate or as responsive as the drivetrain in my XC90, which is a bit disappointing. And also this gas engine, yeah, it gets a bit coarse and loud while revving it out, though I don't have, you know, a rev counter. Let's see if we go into a different driving mode here. We are in auto. Do we have any sport modes? Nope, doesn't look like we have any sport modes. Let's see here. No, we have eco, we have, yeah. So we just have auto sport mode. If we put it into sport on the transmission, we get nothing. We have pedals, so we can shift. Oh, there, pedals gives us the rev counter. Yeah, so this is a very heavy car. And 400 horsepower, 400 electric hybrid gas engine horsepower. Doesn't feel very quickly. It doesn't feel that quick. Because, yeah, that was just a bit disappointing. It will be very interesting getting back into my XC90 after this. But I think it doesn't feel as quick as the numbers suggest. I think, you know, something like a diesel engine would fit this a lot better. But, well, it is quick on paper, but it just doesn't feel as quick as, you know, the numbers suggest. But other than that, on the motorway, it feels very nice. It feels very planted. Though you have these huge wing mirrors, and you do get, you know, a bit of wind noise off them. Road noise is about par for the course. So overall, it's a very comfortable highway cruiser. It's just not a very sporty feeling car. It's not a very energetic feeling powertrain, but it is a really nice luxury vehicle, a luxury cruiser, and on the motorway is where this car really belongs and feels at home. What I really like about this car is its high and commanding seating position. You do really sit higher in a Range Rover than you do in a similar sized competitor. So this is smaller than my XC90 on the outside and on the inside, but I do sit higher. I have a more commanding view. And also this large greenhouse, I'm sitting, you know, almost on top of the door, though I have, you know, the seat jacked up. You have this large glass roof here, and you just sit very high. This commanding, almost royal view is something I do like. And here, you know, on these small roads, residential roads here, and over speed bumps, this is really where this car fits in on the motorway and on, you know, in suburbia. Is where this car just really feels at home, because you have very good visibility. You just see everything. This huge, you know, windscreen. Yeah, and you know, it just feels special in here. This interior, it just makes this car feel so special. You know, more special than than I could remember it feeling. So there you go, guys. That was just my short test drive of this, you know, just an hour with the Range Rover Sport Autobiography P400e plug-in hybrid. I was just really curious to how this car drives and, you know, where this car sits. But after driving it, I do understand this car much more, and I like it much more than I remember, you know, the Range Rover being, how good it being. This interior is just spectacular. I think this sits above even my XC90 in quality and materials, and it just makes you feel special. This is one of those cars that makes you feel special. You know, it appeals to your feelings, your subjectivity, but when you compare it, you know, objectively to an X5, an XC90, you know, that Q7 is miles better to drive than this. It doesn't make sense at all, but this just feels special on the outside and on the inside, and I think it is a bit unique, you know, Range Rover, and this prestige the Range Rover brand brings. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always guys, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.